This is the Chad Factor reporting to you late at night. I had a crazy week here in Georgia, but you know, I made it through. Spring break. Thank God it's spring break for my schools. So nothing really had to, we didn't really have to go through anything. I think the main college, but since I go to technical college, we didn't really go through any of the changes. But I'm here to talk to you, and yes, I'm wearing a Trump hat with this Black Guns Matter. And what this means is that the Second Amendment needs to matter to black people and black people as a whole within this country. And even though I keep going over this book, everybody needs to read this book and read it again, because this book illustrates what people are not teaching us. How nonviolence can get you killed, and how guns actually actually was the forefront in helping the actual civil rights movement. And I'm doing this video because I am appreciative of the Second Amendment, even though we didn't always have the right to use weapons, and there were laws against us, and still are even in 2017. And people look at us differently if we have guns than when other groups have guns. But that's more of a criminal outtake and rates. That's not just racism. That's more of a criminal element. But I'm here to explain to you that guns and the Second Amendment actually helped black people in many regards, and actually help go against racism. And you can also argue that the original Stand Your Ground was actually for black people defending their homes. And what I'll first start off with is in the 1900s, of when there were white riots in Atlanta. W.E.B. Du Bois once said that to protect his daughter and his family, he said, "I would have, without hesitation, splattered their guts." That's what W.E.B. Du Bois said. You had in the 1920s and 30s in Columbia, Tennessee, where a family got into a fight with a white store clerk, and actually the black man punched him, and the white people took him to jail, and the sheriff and them had to defend them against a riot, a crowd, because there was always used to be a white riot or a crowd that would come to try to kill black people, even if they're innocent or guilty. What happened with that was there were black people in Columbia, Tennessee, that went to the jail to defend him, and they fought off the white people who were trying to kill him. Now, they did destroy some black businesses and destroyed some things, but they were able to fight a lot of them off, and succeeded in that. And then after that, the white people and black people actually got along and actually would do your tie. And one man said he would actually the white person would actually do a black man's tie after the whole encounter. You had the incident in Darren, Georgia, where a man named Henry Delgado, who was accused of raping a white woman because a white woman was impregnated by a black man, and the baby came out mixed race. He went to jail, right? And the sheriff was trying to protect him. And this is in 1906, by the way. And then there was an entire riot trying to kill him. And again, some black people came and said, "We need to defend him," and they did. And then the sheriff and the police managed to get in contact with the governor of Georgia to transport him somewhere else to get the trial. And the town's black citizens celebrated not just that, but the fact that Henry Delgado actually was found innocent of raping the white woman, which is a big surprise in 1900s Georgia. He actually got off, and that was it. And they had a biracial committee. Now, how come this book is not talked about? How come the regressive left and liberals don't want you to hear these stories. And I actually have a couple more to tell you. But how come they don't want you to tell you this? It's because they want you to believe that peace and that it was just nonviolence that is the reason why black people got some form of rights, even though I don't really believe we got the full thing that we should have gotten, or that we made the right decision in integration. But we had to use violence. We had to do it. Why is it always black people being taught that we have to kneel down or be innocent, by white, not just white liberals, but even by some white conservatives, that we need to go follow Martin Luther King and be peaceful, nonviolent, even though the entire nation's history was founded on violence and bloodshed. And as Alex Jones quoted, America was made on guns and whiskey. Okay, so why would anyone believe that there was no black people fighting back or trying to fight back and have our freedom and actually succeed in many ways? Okay, that's the question I keep asking people. Is people keep saying black people cannot use our Second Amendment rights, but back in the 50s, 60s, 40s, 30s, and 1900s, we actually did that and succeeded in many ways, and actually fought back against the racial power structure, the white racial power structure, and racism. But people don't want to hear that. People want to say that marches and protests actually helped us, but not this didn't help us. And that black people, you also don't hear about how people feared how black people were coming from World War I and World War II and getting the skills to fight, got the skills to fight off racial oppression back when they went to the South or to the North. Robert Williams is one of those people. Medgar Evers is one of those people, along with his brother Charles Evers, who fought in World War II. Many black people from World War I were trying to get with the Marcus Garvey movement, the Booker T. Washington movement, because they were tired of having to depend on white approval or white people or vice versa. So a lot of this is being shattered through history, and we don't talk about it, and we just see gun rights as just a white conservative. Even though I am a conservative and a libertarian myself, we just see it as a white issue, and that we shouldn't be part of it. We should be the main ones in part of it. If you're saying we're being targeted, whether it be by white people, Arab people, Asian people, or anybody else, we should be the main ones advocating for more of the Second Amendment. That's why I'm wearing this, because even though I got some I'm going to get another video about my disagreements with this man in another video, but I'm for the Second Amendment, and this is a movement we need to get behind. Black guns matter. Black people executing the Second Amendment matters. Not hands up, don't shoot. Not Black Lives Matter. Okay, even though Black lives should matter, not just the Black lives killed by police, but the Black lives killed by abortion, killed by black-on-black violence, killed by AIDS, killed by every other disease. But all Black lives should matter, but also black guns and the Black Second Amendment needs to matter. But they won't tell you that. They won't tell you this in historical context or in history. And that's the reason why we keep voting and voting and voting for more and more gun control. But more and more gun control means more crime and more police. And I'm not for more and more police, but I'm for more and more looser gun laws and more laws so black people in the inner city can defend ourselves, and more gun safety classes. That's why when Trump said he needs to send more feds to Chicago, no, he needs to lessen the gun laws and bring safety classes so black people can defend themselves against thugs and criminals. But if they somehow get, I don't know, atomic weapons or something like that, then I guess sending the feds. But for the most part, we just need lesser gun laws, and that's how we decrease crime in these areas. Okay, So another story I want to tell you is a story in Canton, Mississippi. And this is a well-known. This man is well known within this city, but he's not well known in history. And his name was C.O. Chen. And every black or white person in that area knew not to mess with C.O. Chen. And he used to always, when they tried to go in, when they were trying to arrest one of the people he registered to vote in prison, he walked in there with an armored gun and was challenging the judge and the police officer. And the judge asked both of the men to put their guns down so nobody gets hurt. And the officer quoted in saying, there's only, and I'm going to say some curse words in this, but I don't curse, but he says, there's only two bad sons of bitches in this county, and that's me and that nigger C.O. Chen. That is how you know he was respected in Mississippi. That black man had a whole businesses, registered people to vote without any problems, threatened local Klan members if they came through, but he's never talked about. Never talked about. Whether you watch any PBS documentaries, whether you watch. Now, the Deacons of Self-Defense had a documentary on Showtime, which I give them credit for. But people like C.O. Chen, the incident in Dallin, Georgia, of Henry, the guy, W. Du Bois saying about the shotgun, what happened in Columbia, Tennessee. None of this is talked about, and we have to ask ourselves why. Why is it that we focus on stories like Rosewood, like Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Black Wall Street, and many others that happened when white people came in and took things and destroyed communities over a lie or just because they wanted to. But we never hear about these stories of fighting back and keeping our thing. And even if we lose something, we get it back. Why don't people talk about that or have this message of black guns mattering or the Second Amendment mattering? Why is that? It's because they want to push this mindset into our system and not have us do anything for ourselves or do anything for our people? Or do you think they want us to be in the same mindset for years to come and keep going to the Democrat or even the Green Party? Because I think they're pretty much, the Green Party has some values that I understand, but they're pretty much anti-gun too and anti-capitalist and anti-Second Amendment. Excuse me. But I'm just saying this to think about it, to think about this message, to think about black guns matter and why the Second Amendment needs to matter to us so we can be safe, so we can have our own communities, so we can save ourselves from ourselves, even in the whether it's the inner cities, whether it's even in the black or middle class where it still has crime in it. We need to do this ourselves and promote more messages like this. So black guns matter, man. The Second Amendment should matter to black people. That's why I like the hashtag. So, but this is my video about why black guns should matter. Please subscribe to my channel. I am the C Factor, aka the Chad Factor. Black guns matter. As if Trump's doing good in the next 2 or 3 years, Trump 2020, we'll see what happens in the next 3 years, even 2018. But I'm out. Well, you know what? No, I'm not going out. Give me 30 seconds left. But pretty much, I'm saying we need to look through what the media and what other people are trying to do us. Read this book. This nonviolent stuff gets you killed. Okay? Or read Real Shoot Back. I forgot the author's that book. But we need to read behind the lines and stop letting PBS, even though they do good work at times, but look through the lens and look for other ventures and look for other things so we can know all the history that's not being told. And also, when the Emmett Till trial was going on, Medgar Evers and a couple other black people helped the witnesses go through and were armed defending them. So that's also something that's not talked about. But this is the Chad Factor, and we're out.